Welcome back to another video. As you can see in this video, I've brought a tent which I have not seen on YouTube before. It's a Lavvu, a Norwegian one, from a company called Reindeer, which is way up in Kautokeino, well inside the Arctic Circle. We bought this nearly 20 years ago when we were travelling. I'll put a photo up of us using it next to the expedition truck that we went travelling in, so you can see it being used in the Arctic Circle. But one of the nice things about this tent is that you have the fire inside it. We do have a wood burner and a liner to go with it, but it's really designed for for colder climates. So great in the Arctic, but it's still way too warm for using the inner at the moment. And the reason that we've brought this tent out is because it's my wife Sarah's birthday, or it was yesterday, and she wanted to come out into the woods with the Lavvu again. Interestingly, the lady who we bought the tent off, who worked for Reindeer, I believe it's been taken over by someone else now, but I think it's still called Reindeer. But the lady who was the sales manager for them, a lady called Gun, her husband was a Sami reindeer herder, and so she told us about the history and how the Reindeer Lavvu came to be. If you look on the internet and look up the Norwegian Lavvus, then you'll find that they use wooden poles, most of them, the traditional ones. And this is a take on it. It's built with all of the poles so that the snow doesn't collapse the outside of the tent. All of the single pole Lavvus that I've seen on YouTube, they're okay, but if it snows a lot, as it does in Norway, which is what this tent was, where it was for, the snow settles on the tent and it tends to sag the tent. Whereas because we've got so many poles on this, it doesn't sag, it just falls off. Now I'm using an old Arctic army sleeping bag tonight, and I've got a Clement mat, which, to be honest, I probably don't need. We've got these reindeer skins that we bought in Norway, and Sarah sewed them all together again, or sewed them all together, and she's got the same on her side. So she's got a thermarest on top of the reindeer skins. And then of course we have the star of the show, the fire pit inside the tent, and an awful lot of paraphernalia as well. It's more glamping than bushcrafting this weekend. Now, as it's Sarah's birthday, she got to choose what she wanted to eat, and she set me quite a task. She wants a full roast with lamb, potatoes, vegetables. We actually like stuffing with any roast. So I know traditionally you don't have stuffing with lamb, but we're having it anyway. So time to light the fire. It's glamping, so there's no ferrocerium rods or anything like that. Well, it's panini time, so I'm going to put the press on and work on the paninis. So we've got Branston pickle and hot gooseberry chutney, accompanied by Emmental and prosciutto. Okay, so hot gooseberry chutney it is. And a slice of prosciutto. small portion of emmentaler. Wrap it up. I presume this thing is quite hot, so open it up, pop it in. So to accompany the panini, which hopefully isn't burning, we have a bottle of Rex Mundi, which is a fantastic red wine, available from Laithwaite's. So that's been about, I suppose, about 3 minutes, and it looks quite toasted. So, warming up. You just get quite low going through the door. To me. Down. This is really what this tent is all about. There's no smoke, just warmth. Fantastic. Well, I can confirm that it's lovely and warm in here. No smoke, all goes out the top. Fantastic. Lovely evening. Sarah's happy. The tea lights worked well. So, yeah, just finishing off the evening in the tent. May have to take the coat off in a minute because it's quite warm. These things are really built for Arctic conditions, so I guess you can understand it because it's not really Arctic out there at the moment. But there you go. One of the nice things about these fire pits is that they tend to hold the heat quite well. And so when it comes to the morning, you can normally relight them quite easily. I'll use my bellows. It's one of the reasons why I don't quite understand the wood burners that people use in the tents, because they all seem to have a grate which is a couple of inches above the bottom, and a wood burner is all about the ash bed. As you can see, all I've done is dug up the embers on this, and that's the way that the wood burner should work. This is the Percomax, the coffee percolator. Now, I had a problem with the last one insofar as the coffee was too fine. So what I've done is I've fashioned a filter paper to go in this one. So I'll just put some water in and then we'll get started. I think they hold about 1.2 litres, maybe 1.3 litres. Should be enough. And just put it all back together again. Stick it in the water. Put the lid on, and hopefully, oh, lovely coffee soon. It's a much louder plurp than the Winterwell one, but I noticed the Winterwell one had that, the handle didn't get too hot. This one, you need gloves to hold it. There are all sorts of strange animals up in the bush. You have a zebra just over here. A birthday zebra. Oh no, that's fine. Excellent. Just a small sugar for me. So, cheers. Another lovely cup of coffee. Oh, marvellous. I've just put the Dutch oven on to just start warming through. Well, can't wait to have a go at this. This is a whole shoulder of West Country lamb. Now I like my lamb cooked properly. And when I say properly, I mean I like to be able to flake it. I don't like pink lamb. Personal preference, really. Now, how's about that? Looks spectacular, doesn't it? Let's drag this over a bit. So the way that I do it is I make a little foil parcel and fill the parcel. This on cue, a local pheasant shoot. We've got our little parcel. A bit of cooking wine, some Merlot. And that's all I do. Wrap it up. And that just goes in the pot. And it stays in for probably 4 hours, something like that. So there's plenty of time to go and do other things. So I just pop it in the pot. I've got a trivet in there as well. I don't want it burning on the bottom. Let's pop it in there. So rather than just relying on wood, because it needs to be on for so long, I've put some charcoal briquettes on as well, just to help. I know it's cheating, but we're glamping. So, tales from the wood, a little humour. I went to get all of the food and everything for coming out today, or for the weekend, for Sarah's birthday, and I thought I'd get her some really nice porridge. Because I know for breakfast she quite likes porridge. So I got her this, which is Quaker Oats porridge to go. And it says, bear with me, strawberry, raspberry and cranberry flavour. And it says a bowl of porridge. Well, I thought that that meant that it was going to be 2 sachets of porridge. But it turns out that they're porridge bars, and you can't make any porridge out of that. So Sarah had to have a cold birthday breakfast because Perhaps I didn't read the packet properly, I don't know. Well, we had an interesting night last night. It was lovely sitting outside. There wasn't a breath of wind. And I was trying out my new, I think it's called a Climet mat, sleeping mat, which was an interesting experience. As you know, I've been sleeping in a hammock now for certainly all of the videos that I've done, but for the last year and a half, 2 years. And I haven't been sleeping on the floor at all. And I ended up chasing my mat round the tent for most of the night. So I obviously need to find some way of securing it somewhere. Perhaps if anyone's got any useful tips, they could leave them in the comments section below. Yeah, it was nowhere near as comfortable as a night in the hammock. Those hammocks are just so comfy. But it was lovely and toasty, really lovely and warm. So stuffing, yes, it's Paxo, but I would like to do a little bit something extra with stuffing. So put the stuffing in a pan, and then get a couple of decent sausages. Just cut the skin off. Empty the sausage meat into the stuffing, making sure the dog doesn't eat the skins. And then it's a bit like making a crumble, I suppose. You just kind of work the stuffing into the, work the sausage into the stuffing. And a bit of butter also makes it kind of creamy, but this is a bit hard, but maybe it'll... So I parboiled the potatoes, and I've just put some oil in them. So, pigs in blankets. It's a bit of a necessity. Now, this is my sandwich toaster, and I've never used it before, but it looks like a great pigs in blanket cooker. Non-stick, and takes an entire packet of pigs in blankets. So, I'll pop that on and report back. Well, all I can say is thank God we're not having a starter. The lamb is up to 85 degrees according to my probe. So I'll be burning the lamb, raw potatoes, and stuffing still over there in the bowl. And the sprouts, I can tell you that. At what point has a sprout ever been that big? That's a cabbage. Yeah, dear. Anyway, that's enough of excuses. Right, the stuffing's mixed. It's going in. I'll put a few coals on the top of that as well. I think at this rate we might be having a sausage starter. Flying pigs. Pigs in blankets anyway. Right, next, vegetables. Probably need a bit more water. Okay, we're going industrial now. We get that boiling. And then put the cabbages on. Lid on that. Quick look how they... Yeah, okay, so it's mashed potatoes with this. It has been a little fraught, I'll give you that. I think perhaps it was a little bit much to ask to do 3 Dutch ovens, vegetables and sausages on one fire pit. I think maybe I should have done a fire on the floor, but we'll see how it comes together. I think the roast potatoes are a little bit of a disaster because I parboiled them far too long because I was busy trying to fix something else, but that's what camping's around, you know. A bit of authentic gravy. Bit of sprout water. Right, the big reveal. This bit, I think it's probably worked quite well. Okay, so there's the sort of roast potatoes. So just that over here. Crispy bits. Put the lid back on. And we're onto the stuffing. It's funny when you put butter in it, it goes kind of fluffy. It smells fantastic. Pigs in blankets. Cabbages, sorry. And the finale is the stuffing gravy. So there you have it. It's not perfect, but I think it will taste that way. Well, proof of the pudding is in the eating. Potato, reluctant pig in blanket, a bit of lamb. Camping's never quite the same when you bring a Springer Spaniel with you. This is Bramble, and she's mad as a box of frogs. Absolutely impossible, can't keep still. She's been wriggling and wriggling and shaking and wanted to go and play with things ever since we got here. Another balmy autumn evening.
Dick and the missus.
You can't say that. You said dicking the missus.
I said Dick and the missus.
You said dicking the missus.
I did.
well, we're all packed up and ready to go. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be bringing this tent out again in the winter when it's colder, and we'll put the liner in it and the wood burning stove. But hopefully we'll see you on the next video.